Hi there, and welcome back to this channel. Today we are going to take a look at algebraic expressions, and I believe you have heard algebraic expressions or maybe have been taught algebraic expressions before. But today we want to start our lesson by building on the foundation of algebraic expression. So we'll try to understand the basics of algebraic expression, and then we'll build on that in our subsequent videos. So stay with me. Let's look at what algebraic expression really means, what it is made up of, and how we can build on this particular concept. Understanding the foundation is very critical for our subsequent activities. Now, algebraic expression. When you hear the phrase algebraic expression, it is simply a combination of variable, operation, and a number. And I want to believe all these terminologies are familiar. Let's take them one after the other. An algebraic expression is basically the combination of a variable. When we say a variable simply refers to any letter or any symbol that is used to represent an unknown number. So for example, a variable can be x, it can be y, it can be any letter at all. So that is a variable. Then the next component of an algebraic expression is operation. Operation. An operation in mathematics simply refers to the actions that we take on two or more numbers or variables. So for example, when you have 5 and 7, then the mathematical action that you can possibly take on these two numbers is either you add them, you subtract them, you divide them, or you multiply them. These are the actions that you can take on them. And so the actions that we take on numbers are referred to as operations. And we have four main mathematical operations. The first one is plus, that is addition. We have minus, that is subtraction. We have division, and then we have multiplication. So these are the main operations or mathematical operations that we have. Then the last aspect of algebraic expression is a number, any numerical value. It can be 1, it can be 2, it can be 3, it can be 4, it can be any number at all. And so when we have one of these being combined together, they come together to form an expression. So for example, if we have y, that is one of a variable, then an operation, let's say plus, then a number 2. This particular statement here is an expression because it is made up of a variable, an operation, and that of what? A number. And take note, an expression does not in any way include an equal sign. An expression or algebraic expression does not include an equal sign. So when you have something like this, let y plus x is equals to 10. This is no longer an expression. Rather, it is now turned into an equation. So an algebraic expression refers to the mathematical combination of a variable, an operation, or a number without an equal sign. That is basically what an algebraic expression is. The mathematical combination of a variable or a letter, an operation, and a numerical value is basically what we call an algebraic expression. Okay, now when you have an algebraic expression, it also has its main parts or its main components. So let's take a look at an algebraic expression and then the associated terminology that comes with an algebraic expression. So for example, if you have 4x squared plus 5y plus 3, is this an algebraic expression? Yes, because we said an algebraic expression refers to the combination of a variable, a number, and that of what? An operation without an equal sign. So in this particular writing here, we have a variable which is x and y. We have a number which is 4, 5, and that over 3. And then we equally have our operation as well. Plus, the operation can be any of these: minus, division, or multiplication. Now, when you have an algebraic expression like this, there are some terminologies that we need to understand. Now, the first terminology that we need to look at is, now when you have any variable in an expression, taking x as an example, x is a variable. When you have any variable and then any number that is attached, that is closer or that is attached to the variable, it has a special name. So when you take a look at this our variable, the number that is attached to it is what? 4. So this particular 4 has a special name, and the name of this is called coefficient. Coefficient. That is the first part or the first component of an expression. So any number that is attached to a variable by multiplication. So if you don't see any sign between the variable and that of the number, it is automatically a multiplication sign. So any number which is what? Attached to a variable in an expression by multiplication is called a coefficient. So here the coefficient of x is 4 because 4 is directly multiplied to the x. Now, can we identify another coefficient in our expression here? Yes, which one would it be? Very good. If you say 5, you are correct, because we have another variable which is y, and there is what? 5 directly attached to the y. And so our 5 here too is also a coefficient. Excellent. Now, we have another number which is 3. And in this 3, there's no any variable attached to that. And so in an algebraic expression, the numerical value that always stands alone, like this 3, there's no any variable attached to it. It is called a constant. It is called a constant. So uh, in a in an algebraic expression, we can have a coefficient. The coefficient is the number that is multiplied directly to the variable found in the expression. We can also have what we call a constant. A constant is a number that stands alone without being multiplied to any variable. And then we can also have some parts of an expression. When you take a look at our expression here, they are not written boxed together at once. They are separated. Can you guess what separates them? The operation sign. The operation sign. This plus is separating this particular one from this. This plus also separates this and this. And so we have groups of an expression. So let's take a look at the groups of an expression. So now when you have an expression, there are groups based on what we call the number of terms it has. A term in an expression simply refers to a part of the expression that is separated from the others by either a plus or a minus sign. A term refers to the part of the expression that is separated from the rest by either plus or minus sign. So let's try to identify our terms here. So we said a term refers to the part that is separated from the rest by either plus or minus. Let's take a look at our first. 4x squared is not written together with the first y. It is being separated. And what separates it? A plus sign. So this makes this one a term on its own. So this is what? A term. This is also separated from this. It's also separated from this. So this is also what? A term. This one is also what? A term. So a term in an expression simply refers to the part of the expression that is either separated by plus or minus sign. Take note, if it is not separated by plus or minus, it is not a term. So for example, you have 4 and then you have x. There is no separation between the 4 and that of the x. So this makes all this as what? One term. But if you put any positive between the 4 and that of the x, it separates them and that will divide the terms into what? 2. So a term is separated from the expression by either plus or what? Minus sign. Now when you have a one term, just as we have this, 4x squared 4x squared. We said it's a 10, it's been separated. So when we have just a one term, there's a special name given to it. And this special name is called a monomial. Monomial. That is the first group. When you have a single term in an expression is called a monomial. Mono means what? One. It's a prefix. And so we call it as what? Monomial. What about when you have two terms? Okay, this and this is a term and this is a term. So these are for two terms. So when you have something like 4x squared plus 5y, can we still call this a monomial? No, because this time around it is made up of what? Two terms. So when an expression is made up of two terms, we call it a binomial. Binomial. When an expression is made up of two terms, it is called a binomial. Yet again, we can also have like this. We have 4x squared plus 5y plus 3. What name do you think will give this particular expression based on the number of terms it has? So first of all, how many terms we have in this particular expression? Let's count them together. We have this 1, 2, and that's of what? 3. Now, 1 is mono, 2 is binomial, 3 is what? Trinomial. So we call this expression trinomial. We call this expression as what? Trinomial. So basically, these are the main components or the main groups of an algebraic expression. You can have a monomial, which refers to a single term in an expression. Binomial refers to two terms in an expression. Trinomial refers to three terms in an expression. In our next lesson, in our next video, we'll talk about how to formulate expressions from any given word.